Hey brilliant minds, welcome to Masterandlearnit, where numbers make sense. Today we want to learn a secret on the divisibility rule by 6. You want to know when you look at a number without actually calculating it and tell whether it can be divisible by 6. So all you need to do as my brilliant number masters, all you need to know is the divisibility rule for 2, which I've already covered in the previous video. You can check that. Also, you need to know the divisibility rule for 3, which I've already covered. So if you know the divisibility rule for 2, if you know the divisibility for 3, you are in good hands. But I can just make a recap to remind you how to tell if a number is divisible by 2 and if the number is divisible by 3. So let's just go a little bit and just have a recap. So let's just have a recap on divisibility rule for 2. So divisibility rule for 2, just make sure the last digit ends with a 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. If the last digit ends with a 2, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, that means that number is divisible by 2. So if you know that, you cool. Let's make a recap also, a recap on the divisibility rule for 3. In the previous video, you can just go and check that one out as well. The divisibility rule for 3, you have to add the individual digits, and if they give you a multiple of 3, that means it is divisible by 3. For example, let's say you have a number that says 1002 and you want to check if this number is divisible by 3. Just add these digits, 1 plus 0 plus 0 plus 2. The answer that you get must be a multiple of 3, like 3, 6, 9, 12. I'm just gonna add 1 plus 0, it's 1 plus 0, it's 1 plus 2 is 3. And 3 is a multiple of 3. So how about if I have a number that says 54. I want to check if this number is divisible by 3. What do? You add the individual digits. 5 plus 4 is 9. Is 9 a multiple of 3? Let's count in threes. 3, 6, 9. So now that you know how to check the divisibility for 2 and for 3, you can now jump right into the divisibility rule for 6. So what does the rule for divisibility for 6 say? It says if the number is divisible by both 2 and 3. So all you need is to know the divisibility rule for 2 and the divisibility rule for 3. So that number has to be divisible by 2 and has to be divisible by 3. For that, if those two conditions are met, yes, it is divisible by 6. So let's just do some examples right here on the board. So let's check if 48 is divisible by 6. So 48, let's check, is it divisible by 2? It ends with 8, so it is divisible by 2. So yes, my first tick, divisible by 2, has been taken. Is that 48 divisible by 3? How do we check if it's divisible by 3? You add these numbers, 4 plus 8. And 4 plus 8 we know is 12. And 12 is divisible by 3. 3, 6, 9, 12. So we tick again. Okay, 2 ticks are needed, not 1. So 2 ticks have been taken. So yes, 48 is divisible by 6. How about the next one that says 224? Is it divisible by 6? We check whether it's divisible by 2 first. So it ends with a 4. So yes, it's divisible by 2. So I put a tick on the basis of 2. And we have to make the second check. Is it divisible by 3 as well? So how do you check if a number is divisible by 3? You add the individual digits. So let's add this number. 2 plus 2 plus 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 2, that's 8. Is 8 a multiple of 3? 3, 6, 9. There is no 8 on the 3 times table, so this number is not divisible by 6. How about the next one, which is 252? Is it divisible by 6? I have to check whether it's divisible by 2 and divisible by 3. So by 2, yes, it ends with a 2, so it is divisible by 2. So maybe it's divisible by 6. But before we make that conclusion, check also whether it's divisible by 3. And how do we check if a number is divisible by 3? Add the individual digits. 2 plus 5 plus 2. So what's 2 plus 5? That's 7. 7 plus 2, we get 9. So the answer that we get is a 9. Is a 9 a multiple of 3? Yes. So that means this number is divisible by both 2 and 3, so it is divisible by 6. How about 18? I want you to try that by yourself and drop in your comments and tell me if 18 is divisible by 6. You check whether it's divisible by 2 and divisible by 3. If both these 2 and 3 can divide 18, that means it is divisible by 6. If you really find these videos to be really cool, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs. Always share videos to your friends and always come back to Masterandlearnit, where learning is fun and engaging. Please always subscribe to get beautiful videos like this. See you in the next video.